Hi everybody, it's Kimberly and back with the Twin Flame family for your weekly collective Twin Flame reading. This is for the energy of the week of June 4th, 5th. I always read it on the weekend and, it's not exactly a 7-day forecast, but it's kind of reading the energies right now and kind of what's up ahead and to come over the next week or so. So I'll just dig right in. I pulled cards for the masculine and the feminine. I have lots of messages around these cards. So I'm going to start with the masculine. The masculine is the Three of Wands is coming up for the masculine. And I feel like he's looking at his prospects. He's really thinking about, long-term where he wants to be. And he's really committed to that. Like for instance, my twin, is really committed right now to buying a home. So he's doing all that work towards that to buy a new house. And, but this is also like looking out at other opportunities, not just like things that are tempting him, but really like he's keeping the future in sight, I feel. And I think he's doing this with the feminine twin flame in mind. But I don't think it's going to be obvious to her yet. He's just kind of got his nose to the grindstone and he's got the commitment to the work so that he can accomplish this. He wants to travel, and he does want to travel with her. But right now it's kind of like he's got to do what he needs to do. And I'm feeling like there's not so much extra time to play because there's a heavy focus on, what he wants to achieve. And for the masculine that aren't fully aware that he is thinking of all of this with her in mind, I feel that there is a driving force and he doesn't even really understand it. But it's there. And this is a lot of what we're going to see from him, especially as he introverts, I believe. So I think the masculine's going into a time of introversion, like where he is going to start to process some of the stuff that he hasn't been facing in the past weeks and months. So in the past readings recently, I've talked very much about the masculine going into deep into his ego, into the lies, the blame, the low vibrational behaviors, could be violence, could be drinking, could be drugging, could be escapism. So many of these things have been coming up. I feel like he's starting now to go inward. So he's processing. He's starting to see things from a little bit of a broader perspective and kind of figuring out a little bit. He's having glimmers of figuring out that he's rubbing up against his own ego. And there's also an awareness of masking. Like he's having a slight awareness. It's not a full awareness, but he's having a slight awareness that he has been masking his true emotions. And the reason why is because he is afraid to go to that place of sadness. He's been really afraid to process. And I feel as though he's going to step away. If he's not already away, he's going to step away now and hermit a bit. At least from an emotional standpoint, from a social standpoint, there's going to be like several weeks of purifying for him. White Tara is coming up above the masculine, just saying purification. I feel like that's getting rid of the low vibrational behaviors. Like he's not really liking himself right now for all of this. And there, like I said, there's glimmers of realization, awakening, and starting to tap into his own heart center, which means feeling his truth come through. But it's still scary. So especially when we stand outside of the sadness, like usually people don't want to go into their sadness because they're afraid, like, oh my God, what if I start crying? I won't be able to stop. Or what would happen if I felt this? I might just drown in these emotions. But he's like letting himself go there a little bit. And it's like a needed period of stepping back for him. Okay. And you still might see some of the toxic behaviors and toxic energies too. Resistance, a lot of ego just coming through. But that's going to give way to this period of introversion. I feel like the purification is also tears for the masculine. So the masculine is going to shed tears if he hasn't already, this week or next. And it's going to be cleansing for him. He's going to realize it's not so bad to let the emotions flow through. And really that's all we need to do, even for the feminine, when you're stuck in that fear mode or in sadness, remember to let it flow through you, let it wash out and like wash everything out, because you will feel better after. There'll be relief, there'll be clarity. And that's what's happening here with purification. It's like that crying that the masculine's going to do. And I really think it's literal crying for some of the masculine, whether that's in front of the feminine or whether that's behind closed doors. He's cleansing, and, I think the ego, diving into his ego further, going into the depths of the ego and some of the darkness, actually it's like almost like a big weight and relief to now cry, and kind of it's a complete cleansing for him. So in that, although I feel the tears, I feel like, the throat chakra is coming up underneath the masculine, and he may not be ready to articulate yet, but the cleansing is going to give way to this opening. And I feel like his throat chakra is connected to his heart being open. And so this will create a new line of communication for him, especially when it comes to feelings and emotions. And there'll be less closed offness, if that makes sense. And I think the throat chakra will start articulating more truth. So his voice will articulate more truth after this period. Okay, so I'm going to talk more about that, but I want to go over to the feminine. So with the divine feminine, the magician card's coming up, which is no surprise, as we've been talking about the feminine getting into her power and recognizing how powerful she is and owning her power to manifest and being in creation energy. This is very much about bringing things to life, and I feel like June can be a very magical month for the feminine. Like I've said in past readings, June just feels bright to me for the feminine. I think especially as we get closer to the summer solstice, she's going to have lots of new opportunities. She's going to be flying high in her manifestation powers, or really owning that. And this is just her in her new power and saying, like, I'm okay no matter what. I'm okay no matter what's going on with the masculine. And I'm going to keep doing my thing and keep expanding my horizons and my spirituality and my opportunities. And I feel like luck's coming in for her. Like I said, new opportunities, doors opening, money, abundance, and just bringing things to life quickly. And that's really huge. So above the feminine, Serapis Bay is coming in, and he's saying, go now. And that's very much saying go now, towards the things that you want to create and away from the toxic energies. And I feel like in a way it's been a lot of where the masculine has just been. Like now he's looking towards the future, and now he's cleansing, but a lot of this toxic energy was, clumped up in the masculine. I think the feminine did her purging back in January, February, and it was the masculine's turn now. And Some of the feminine are making decisions though, and they're getting the clarity. You know, she's in her power, so there's clarity that's coming. And the card underneath for the feminine, underneath the situation, is that feminine, you're profoundly clairvoyant. Don't forget that. You're getting messages in your dreams through the signs and synchronicities, and they're telling you, they're guiding you, I feel like, what's to come right now. What you need to know, what's to come. So you've got to trust in it. And change can be really scary. We need to breathe into it. Remember that moving away from toxic energy is only going to help bring us clarity as well. So it may be that she needs to distance herself from the masculine twin while he's going through all this ego stuff and cleansing and hermiting. And you know, if she's affected by all of that, if she stays attached and she gets affected by all of that, whether it's the explosions and the ego drama, or if it's just by the hermiting and the retreating, you know, she's going to be on a roller coaster. And they're saying, Divine Feminine, you need to do your own life now. You need to be focused on your own healing. You need to be focused on your mission. This is huge mission month, June and July. There's star power behind the feminine. So this could be bringing things to life very easily, getting on your mission, creating new opportunities, taking it a step further now. And you don't want to be held back by this, you know, this processing, you know, that you sort of, I feel like a lot of the feminine already kind of were on this roller coaster, and you've come to owning your power now. You've come to a deeper place of healing. You're coming to a deeper surrender, and they're reminding you that it may be a good time to just sit back, you know, away from the masculine. This could be a time of moving. I'm also getting moving coming up for some feminine, like good time to make a move if you're thinking about it. But it's specifically saying move away from the toxic energies, get away from the negativity. If those of you that are married to your twin flames, and I've worked with more than a couple of you the past week, or I've heard emails from a number of twin flames who are married, and you know, and you say like, well, how can I get away from my twin flame when, you know, we're in a partnership and we live together? And shouldn't he be, you know, shouldn't this be 50-50? And the thing is you have to give the masculine space right now. And you cannot let those toxic energies, whatever they are, and that purging and processing, you cannot let that affect you. So you just have to get really unconditional, which means surrendering, sending compassion and love, and then refocusing on you. And that's the only way to really manage that. And you may just have to observe him go through his stuff and know that it's just all, it's also that things can fall into place. Okay, there's going to be an emergence after this, like where he emerges out of it into a new and better place. It's almost like a new life for him. And I think he's thinking about that right now, very much. Healthier, more balanced, more truthful, more authentic. He's thinking about that. Okay, that's on his mind. There's some stuff that he's not even liking in himself right now that he wants to get away from, and he's got to figure that out. And sometimes we only figure it out by going into the lowly lows or the depths of despair, or some of the stuff that, you know, makes us feel worse, so that we can figure out that we want to feel better, that we want to get more honest, that we want to make a change, right? And I feel like that action's coming, like I've been saying, like in August for the masculine. So the shared energy is the Six of Pentacles in reverse, okay? And this is really interesting, you guys, because let me show you what it looks like. I've got, this is the shared for the masculine and the feminine. Finances is coming up underneath. And crowning, we have Lakshmi, which is flow of prosperity. So there's a number of things here. We'll start with the shared energy card. So Six of Pentacles, I feel like in relation to the twins, one twin feels like, I feel like the feminine feels like she's been giving a whole lot of effort, of energy, of doing her own work. And she's like, why the heck are you not here yet, masculine? Why are you not giving? And how come I get so little from you? And so there's an imbalance in the give-take, okay? So it's kind of like she's giving, he's taking. And, you know, that's why we're seeing this in reverse right here. Remember that this will balance out, okay? Here's the scales of balance, you see? I'm going to hold that up for you, see? And I feel as though right here, this give-take, these beggars, this is all going to strike a balance, okay? And it's going to balance when he comes through his processing and you get further along on your mission. The work you do, although you may not see the seeds of fruition yet, or may not see the shift in the masculine yet, but you must trust that the work that you do as an individual is holding the torch. Okay? It's holding the torch. It's the guiding light for the masculine. And it's not so much about you being fixated on what he does or doesn't do. Okay? It's actually about not being fixated on that at all. He will come to you in time. And as a better man, he can't show up that way yet because there's stuff there for him that still needs to be processed. Truth that needs to be discovered. There's some time here that he needs in the next several months to get clear. And you cannot be upset about the give or take, or the fact that you're doing the work and he hasn't even woken up, or is resistant to spirituality, or resistant to the concept of twin flames. You have to understand that it only matters that you understand it, that you practice it, that you are practicing the 5D work that you know, that you are practicing loving and stepping into your unconditional love as much as you can at this time in your self-love and self-healing. And this will balance. It will balance. You still are you still are holding the torch and are the guiding light. It just gets hard to believe sometimes, especially when it takes a long time for the masculine to wake up, especially when we feel like our efforts are futile and there's nothing that we can do to, you know, we're not seeing results in the 3D, so we feel very discouraged. But try to keep the hope alive in your heart for, if nothing else, just the love to shine through, the purity of the love, the healing of your twin flame. And not the outcome, not the fixation on we should be together, he should be giving me more. Just hold the torch, because many of the feminine, especially as she goes deeper into her spirituality right now, which I feel a lot of you are, like deeper into your magic, deeper into your spirituality, deeper into your power. I mean, the more you go in and the less he's there, the more you're going to feel that difference, right? You're going to go, why am I so entrenched in this? And why is he still doesn't even know what the heck twin flames are? But we got to let that go, because I'm finding, especially a lot of the masculine twins right now, their egos are making them very into the black and white. They're getting fired up about politics. They're getting, angry with the current energies, and they're feeling the feminine power rising on the planet. They're also, and they're rebelling to that, and they're feeling like, and they're very, insecure with the fact that you feel good about yourself and you're okay standing on your own. You don't need them as much. And so they're not in a position that they're going to come to you and give. They need the reassurance, but you can't right now because they're not in the place to receive it. So just allow them to be. And feminine, keep doing your thing. There's going to be a lot of stuff that's unseen, You have to trust the signs, synchronicities, and the dreams right now. And understand that this will balance. I'm going to say it again. It will balance. And when it does, he'll be able, because as you're stepping all the way into your feminine right now, divine feminine, you are doing that. But he's not ready to be all the way in his masculine yet. But these are the things that he needs to go through to get there. So you just have to trust and allow him. That you can't tell him. You can't make him heal. You can't show him the light. You can't convince him of twin flames. You can't, get rid of his resistance toward, like, he's trying to make everything black and white, I feel. He wants to make everything black and white. There is no gray. There is no, this is what you're crazy. Okay? He would just say you're crazy right now, many of the masculine twins. You can't let that discourage you. And that has no bearing on what you know to be true and how you practice. And this is a practice. You practice every day being in your feminine, getting to be a better manifester, leading yourself, into abundance and fullness of life through positive thinking and positive thought and intentions. And also through holding the space for your twin flame, holding the vision of union, holding the space for your twin flame without expectation, without timeline, without attachment to outcome, with hope and love in your heart and full surrender. And that's how we navigate the process successfully. And it is hard. It's tricky. It's tricky for me. It's tricky for all of us. But we all go through the same struggles. So I want to talk about the finances coming up underneath the situation. I feel like it could be about, the feminine moving or getting into her own self-reliance. I feel like for the masculine, it's about his focus on work, his focus on the future, wanting to save. He wants to save money right now. He's worried, like, if he breaks away from a toxic situation or a karmic relationship, he's trying to, like, save up now to get ready for the future. The masculine may be thinking about starting a new venture, or and he's like, he's not going to take a big risk, but he's starting to, like, save up now to do that. He's starting to really think about the future with the feminine. And like I said, for the feminine, she's getting into her self-reliance. Like I said, she may be wanting to make a move, or move her life in a new direction, or make a leap into her mission, right? Which could mean a job ending and something new beginning, or she may be juggling the two, but they're saying, like, abundance is here. Lakshmi's coming up. She's saying flow, prosperity. And I think both twins are kind of in the flow right now with their work. So keep that going. This is the time to do this. I feel like it's different because the masculine feels like it's a very grounded energy. It's very like, okay, I'm going to save my pennies. I'm going to sock this away. He's feeling the change coming. He doesn't know what it is. He just knows he wants that security. He wants that. He wants to step up and be, the king. The emperor is coming up with the bottom of the deck. So this is the wise man, the one who is prudent, and he's right here. Okay. And he wants to be the emperor. He wants to step into that role. Okay. He wants that. But it's taking a while, but he's starting to think about this right now, and he's planning for it slowly but surely. And the feminine, she's just, there's abundance all around her because she's trusting herself. She's in the flow. She's in the magic of the universe. She's in her power center. This is a really, really great place for the feminine to be in, especially as she launches her mission or gets on her mission. She's going to find she gets the applause, she gets the audience, she gets the business, she gets the new clients, she gets the opportunity to work and to do and to see the rewards from it as well. And and that's a beautiful thing. So I pulled a Sacred Feminine card for the reading itself. I guess you could read this for both energies. And Guinevere is coming up, as she has in the past. Guinevere, the queen, and she is all about you know, walking in line with your self-honor, self-respect, you know, being so authentic and knowing who you authentically are so that you can set healthy boundaries and be treated the way you desire to be treated and walk in line with your self-respect and all that you deserve. And I think there's a lot of, the feminine sometimes gets a little bit in her ego when she's like, this is the give take thing, remember? She's kind of going, I give so much more. Like, this isn't fair. Why doesn't he give? Why doesn't he do anything? Why didn't he give anything to me? And this is just saying, like, just keep lining up with yourself and you're going to get everything that you desire when you don't, when your ego is not in there going, give it to me, or I need it now, you know, when you're just in alignment with it, you'll see it'll be more than your twin flame flowing this into your life. People will treat you the way that you want to be treated when you're lined up with your honor and your values. And this will include your twin flame too. And I think that rest and communication for a while for some of you will be a very good and healthy thing. Very scary for the twins because we don't know what's going to happen. And there's no guarantees when there's no communication or when the, you know, masculine goes off in hermits and the feminine can feel very shaky about this. And so can the masculine. The masculine is scared too. But I feel like the feminine more so about the outcome of the relationship. And you just have to trust and just have that faith that it's going to work out, and everything that's in alignment for you as you dig into these higher vibrations and you elevate and you dig into your healing and you're on your path and you're on your mission. Lots of new people, lots of new contacts, and lots of new opportunities are going to come your way. And if you're sitting there pining over your twin flame, you may miss some of those opportunities. So they're saying, find the way to shift the energy so that you're just allowing your twin flame. You also understand that you don't know what's going to happen. So to say right now, from where I stand, to say, oh, well, we're not in communication, I'm never going to hear from him again. Or to say, oh, well, he's leaving, or he's, you know, playing peekaboo, or he's hiding, because a lot of the masculine are hiding. They're hiding their truth, and they're hiding. They're just hiding. They're going to be in hiding. But they will come out of hiding when they face themselves a bit more. And then they'll reconnect with the feminine. But it has to be this way right now. Okay? And you have to trust in that. And try not to make false beliefs about it, because that's what the feminine does sometimes. She's going, well, if I can't see it right now and it's not showing up right now, well, then it's never going to happen. But you know what you do is you put resistant energy there. And what I'm saying to you is to not get attached to the idea of romantic union, but to leave the opening for it, to keep the hope in your heart, to keep the love and the excitement there, you know, and not worry about when or how it's going to show up, because it will. And several times this week, I had a private reading. I've been burning this candle for the Ascended Masters. And several times this week, I've been seeing this card. And this is the bottom of the Angel Therapy deck. And the Ascended Masters are coming up. And this is specifically a message for twin flames. And it's saying, powerful, loving, and wise spiritual teachers are watching over and guiding you. And that is true. And right now it feels hard for many of us. We just went through a very emotional time. Very. On both sides. And June is going to be brighter. And it's going to be more balance. More clarity is coming. There's a place of surrender, allowance, cleansing. And this goes for both the twins. So I hope that that's helpful. If any of you want to book a private reading with me, I didn't realize this one was so long. We're about 30 minutes now. But you can do so on thetwinflamefamily.com, and there's a few spots left for this Tuesday's June 6th for the Divine Feminine Goddess Workshop. So please sign up for that on thetwinflamefamily.com, and I will see you guys soon. Thanks. Okay, bye.